Hi, this is Fujita. In this video, I present my project titled Is Cognitive Science Still in this Interdisciplinary Field? By focusing prominent scientists with citation analysis. In 1950s, cognitive science emerged as an integrated field of linguistics, psychology, philosophy, anthropology, neuroscience, and computer science. However, its interdisciplinarity is recently debated. Some authors claim that cognitive science fails as an interdisciplinary field due to too much influence of psychology. So, I evaluate cognitive science by focusing prominent cognitive scientists to investigate its interdisciplinarity. I engage citation analysis based on their papers. My citation analysis are comprised of two parts. First, I analyze prominent scientist works. Second, I analyze scientific papers which cite the prominent scientist works. I select prominent scientists by referring Wikipedia, and the resulting number looks like this. The number of scientists who specialize psychology and philosophy are higher than other fields. Next, number of papers. The highest number of psychology papers is consistent with the number of psychologists. Interestingly, neuroscience papers are next, even though the number of neuroscientists is not so high. This shows how many papers are written by unscientists. Prominent psychologists and neuroscientists wrote many papers, whereas scientists in anthropology, computer science, and linguistics wrote relatively few. This shows how many times unscientist is cited. Neuroscientists are significantly cited, whereas scientists in anthropology, linguistics, and philosophy are cited not so much. This is a time series analysis of the number of publications of prominent cognitive scientists. After 1961, it increases by about 500 papers each decade. This shows the same time series analysis by subfields. 5 fields show similar tendency, whereas neuroscientists worked a lot between 1980 and 2010. Cognitive scientists discuss topics beyond their specialty. Anthropologists, for example, discuss psychology topics in their 40% of papers. This implies cognitive science might develop around psychology. Next, I show word clouds of each subfield. These are created anthropologists' papers keywords. They keep on discussing language but not discuss mind recently. Computer scientists mainly discuss model whole term, but they recently emphasize artificial intelligence because they discuss perception and inference a lot after 2011. Linguists continue to discuss language and comprehension, and their focus seems not to change after 2011. Through the old term, neuroscientists' main theme are cortex and cells. However, their emphasis shifts from animal to human intelligence since monkey disappears and representation appear in recent word cloud. Philosophers continue to discuss mind and brain, but their emphasis shifts from neuroscience to AI since neuron and cell disappear and perceptions and model appears in recent word cloud. After 2011, psychologists discuss more diverse topics and emphasize human development and clinical aspects since infant and therapy appears in the recent word cloud. Let's summarize. From quantitative analysis, cognitive science might develop around psychology. From semantic analysis, cognitive scientists in each field uniquely contribute to cognitive science. Let's start the second part. This is the number of citing papers. Over 20,000 papers cite prominent psychologists and neuroscientists' works, which are analyzed in the first part. This shows the number of publications of citing works by decade. The number increases by double each decade and increased more in the last decade. This shows the same time series analysis for each subfield. The tendencies of all fields are similar, however, the number increased significantly in the last decade in psychology and philosophy. Let's look at structure of citation. This is created from 4 citation data. This shows huge influence of psychologists Daniel Kahneman and some neuroscientists. This is created from papers citing anthropologists and shows that the paper and revision heavily influence. 3 cognitive science journals cite prominent anthropologist works relatively high. This shows that Herbert Simon and Josh Tenenbaum are heavily influenced on recent works in computer science, and 2 cognitive science journals cite these 2 scientists a lot. This shows huge influence of Noam Chomsky on linguistics. However, a couple of cognitive science journals locate the center of the network. These journals cite linguistics works in a balanced manner. This shows some influential neuroscientists. However, there are no cognitive science journals. So, more detailed alternatives are required to evaluate cognitive science in this context. Like the network of linguistics, cognitive science journals locate at the center. In addition, many edges seem to connect different modules. This implies citing works highly integrates diverse philosophical thoughts. There are 3 cognitive science journals and they seem to belong different modules and locate differently. So cognitive science might be influenced by prominent psychologists in some different manners. This shows how citing works discuss other field topics. Unlike prominent cognitive scientists, citing works discuss other field topics little. These 3 fields do not almost discuss other field topics. Only 1% of anthropology papers discuss psychology and only tiny portion of psychology papers discuss neuroscience. Finally, I semantically analyze citing works. Citing works of anthropologists continue to discuss language and children. They also discuss speech, so this field may converge with linguistics. Citing works of computer scientists continue to discuss some topics similarly. However, they emphasize system and information after 2011, whereas it less emphasizes cortex and memory. Like prominent linguists, citing works of them continue to discuss language, comprehension, memory. This consistency may be a manifestation of unique contribution of linguistics. Citing works of neuroscientists consistently discuss cortex, brain, and memory. After 2011, connectivity and network start to being discussed. Citing works of philosophers keep on discussing mind, context, perception, and brain. After 2011, cognition and attention are discussed instead of cell and system. Through the whole term, memory is the central topic. Attention, perception, and cortex are still discussed but less emphasized. Instead, model and information are more discussed after 2011. Let's summarize. Cognitive science might develop around not only psychology but also neuroscience. However, the field might fail to integrate its subfield knowledge, even though its journal refers each subfield. Conclusion. Cognitive science might be psychological, but it's also influenced by neuroscience. The issue is integration. To recover its interdisciplinarity, scientists should pay attention beyond their specialty. This is my reference. Thanks for listening.